Alrighty, hello Shenanigoons. Welcome back to, what is this, week 4? Week 5? I've already lost track. That's how much fun we're having.
4.
Is it week 4?
It's week 4.
Unless we split the first one
into
notes. 2 episodes, then it'll be week 5. Or we could do week 1 and 1 point, I don't know, 1.5, and then week 2. We recorded a lot in that first episode.
All of it absolute gold.
Yo, yeah, uh-huh.
I'm sure.
Total
Just
gold.
skip the whole numbers altogether and just use the 0.5s.
So this is 0.5 and then 1.5 or 0.55 or 0.555. And...
Let me tell you, this sounds like a great system.
We only ever reach 1 when the season is complete and published. It's like, we're out of alpha.
You guys.
Right. We just keep adding 0.05 patches over and over and over again until we get to 1.
We'll get it right at some point, guys.
It's like World of Warcraft's release schedule.
That's the campaign. Welcome to episode 1.
Yeah.
God, it's like Kingdom Hearts 2. You're playing the game for like 5 hours before you ever see the title screen.
Which game is that?
Kingdom Hearts 2.
Oh, I've never played the Kingdom Hearts.
No, I didn't either.
For a Disney fan, I'm shocked.
Yeah, I love the aesthetic.
Yeah, same. I really like the art I've seen looks amazing, and I love Disney, but I just, when it came out, I was at that perfect age of teenager where I was like, no, that's a kid's video game. And kind of just ignored it.
Clutching my pearls.
Wow, okay, I was never that bad. I was never elitist about it.
Plus your brain was going sex.
Just once, though.
Wait, what? How old would I have been? Hold on. Wait, what year?
When it first came out, oh god.
Yeah.
I think Kingdom Hearts 2 was 2003, but I could be wrong.
First released in 2002.
All right.
And this has been your weekly video game retrospective. See you all next month.
Evidently. There you go. Thanks. See you guys. All right. So,
I get extra XP for that, right? Like, that's how it works?
yes, you can have all the XP you want because we're using the milestone system.
Damn.
And that's a great segue. You guys finally reached your first milestone. You've chosen one of the organizations within the city to join. You had 2 options, and you have joined the Birchfield Institute. So, congratulations. That means you guys are going to be leveling up to level 2.0.
Hooray!
Huzzah!
Why don't you guys give me an idea of what new abilities you've each kind of grabbed onto? I know that this isn't one of the exciting levels, but I think there's still some good stuff out there.
Mine's super short.
Great. Go for super short. That's how my wife answers the phone.
Excuse your face.
Wow.
Seriously.
Okay.
Excuse you. I am shorter than your wife, so you be quiet.
It should be how you answer the phone. Go for super short.
No, honey, that's how you answer the phone.
Oh.
Kyle needs a minute.
All right.
Okay.
Petra, fucking hell.
Alrighty. Yes.
I have your character names taped to the fucking screen now, and I still use them wrong. Angela,
So good.
please go ahead
So
and
good.
tell us about Adelaide.
Okay, so Adelaide at level 2 has a few more hit points now, which is good for her. But she also has action surge now, so once per short rest, she can take an extra action. Hooray!
Oh, that's a fun one. I like that.
Me too. I'm excited. More chances to miss with my rolls.
Right.
Aw.
So we are.
Kyle, I'm pretty sure you wrote Merrick on the post-it on your head, but you got to do it in
was
Sharpie if we're going to see
Yeah,
it on
Sharpie,
screen.
buddy.
And less visual, more auditory joke.
It's more for Logan than anyone else, so you leave me alone.
Okay.
I literally have a post-it right underneath the post-it on your forehead that says Merrick.
I'm so sorry for ruining that with my sneeze.
That's
There was no covering that if Logan was also talking during it.
Yeah, no, but that's okay. It'll be great. Everyone can hear your adorable
use
little
the-
sneezes.
You could use the post-it, Kyle, but just draw one big M across it instead. Like, just go over and over with the pen.
But
'cause
then
then he'll
people
see
will
it.
think I'm controlled by magic. I'm sorry. I'm messing up my Dragon Ball jokes.
Was there a joke in there,
yeah,
Kyle? Did
no,
you want to?
I'm fine.
Do you want to take another swing at that one? I never watched anything in Dragon Ball at all, so
Heathen.
that's it. We just lost half our listenership because I don't watch Dragon Ball.
No Kingdom Hearts, no Dragon Ball. Jeez, Logan, are you trying to make us lose all our listeners?
Wait, we have listeners?
Those imaginary listeners that we're hoping for.
There's at least 3 people out there that are listening to this podcast right now.
One of them is you.
Yeah, okay, me.
I'll probably listen to it and be like, God, Logan, you gotta just edit us and make us funnier. Jeez. The editing suite would like to inform you that it was in fact Angela who ended up editing this episode, so you're welcome, or I'm sorry.
There's only so much that editing can do.
That really won't translate to audio, does it?
Okay. So, I'm sorry.
You know, in Critical Role, when Matt Mercer, right before they start recording, they start screaming obscenities at him to try to get him to laugh. This version is you guys putting post-it notes of dicks on your head, wife. So trying to make me laugh without anybody really knowing why. All right, we're getting off track here. Who wants to go next?
So Val at level 2 has a couple of fun things.
Bet she does.
I also gained hit points, which is nice because if the healer crashes and burns, it's problematic. And then I also got my channel divinity stuff at 2nd level, so now I have turn undead.
Brains. Sorry.
Okay.
I turned undead.
Oh.
My channel divinity ability is Path to the Grave. So for Grave Domain Cleric, starting at 2nd level, I can channel my divinity to mark another creature's life force for termination. What it does is it gives anyone who hits it on their next turn. So the next time the creature gets hit, me or an ally can do the full damage. So even if it has resistances, it doesn't get those resistances. It gets against the damage.
Excellent.
It takes the full vulnerability and has to take all the damage.
Very nice.
Then it's over, but it could be helpful.
Perfect. We also, as we've discussed more about your character and the gods of the world, and we're, for those that don't know, we're actually building this world, the 6 of us, kind of as we go through this world. Wayuna, the god of death that Val follows, uses a scythe as their holy weapon. So we have added the scythe into the game as a heavy reach weapon, does 2d4 slashing, 2-handed. And the Grave Domain now gets the scythe as a weapon as part of the proficiency because it's a martial weapon otherwise. So we've added that in for those that are kind of curious about where that might come from as we discuss it more. That's where that is. All right. Merrick, you want to go? Kyle?
Sure. After leveling up, Merrick now has Cunning Action, which allows him to use as a bonus action, dash, disengage, or hide.
I really was worried you were going to say you were a cunning linguist.
No, because you had the joke on lockdown, and I didn't need to.
Well, that's okay, because that's why I have comprehend languages.
It's useful. It's good. It's good stuff.
So the two of you can get together.
You don't need to comprehend anything if he's doing it right.
Fucking hell. All right.
Wow.
It's going to be that kind of show, huh? Bonnie, tell us about your new piratey abilities.
So Bonnie, in addition to getting some extra hit points, huzzah, now has the ability of Jack of all trades.
Ooh, very nice.
Which means I can add half of my proficiency bonus to any ability checks that I'm not proficient in. I also get Song of Rest to help us heal up extra when we use our hit dice. And I picked up a new spell called Bane.
Ooh. Fancy.
And that's it.
All right. And Arthur.
Yes. And Arthur leveled up.
Thank you.
Got, 4 hit points. Picked up 2 invocations. Agonizing Blast, which adds damage to my Eldritch Blast, and I took Misty Visions, which lets me cast Silent Image at will.
Very nice.
Without using components or a spell slot.
Oh, very cool. I love it.
And I got another spell.
Nice.
Which I just realized
No.
I'm going to have to change up because I took Silent Image. So they're kind of overlapping each other.
All the silent images.
Never leave home without it.
Yeah, evidently not.
Wow.
I'll figure that out later.
Excellent. So, last time on Shenanigoons,
Ashport, a city on the brink. The winds of the restless sea are thick with the soot and grime of progress. The continent of Valdara is a world of adventure and magic, and this land of kings, of monsters, of heroes, is being dragged kicking and screaming into a modern age. Crime lords battle for control of the city's underbelly, and the common people struggle for survival. All the while, politicians congratulate themselves on being a testament to enlightenment. The Birchfield Institute, a shining beacon through the smoke, leads the way, merging science and magic to improve the lives of those who can afford it. The divide between the common and privileged is growing wider, day by day. Eager to shed Ashport's uncivilized past, the powers that be dismiss adventurers and heroes as mere mercenaries, charlatans, pirates. Only a select few, through sheer nerve and talent, become sanctioned by the Institute to recover ancient knowledge and artifacts for study and safekeeping.
The group found themselves flush with acquired loot. At least that which hadn't already been drunk by Adelaide.
Pardon, Arthur?
And were looking forward to selling it off for a bit of financial gain. Having already been given the name of a local fence named Riku, they set off to set up a meeting.
Can we revisit
Riku provides coinage and the knowledge that there's a hidden map under the conversation's deceit painting. Adelaide, peeved about a no-show from Robin,
Oh, I'm peeved about a couple things, Arthur, including how you're characterizing me in this.
confronts him to find out that if she wants to move forward with her advancement, something of great interest needs to be brought forward rather than waiting on the Institute to come to her. And of course, that Robin is still watching closely.
I'm watching you, Arthur.
Finally, after Bonnie uses prestidigitation to reveal the treasure map, we decide to split the party. We meet the matriarch of Merrick's family, Liara. Cut.
Nope, you're stuck with that take. You're stuck with that take, Arthur. We have things to talk. I guess I'm too drunk to edit correctly.
We meet the matriarch of Merrick's family, Liara, which Arthur attempts to flirt with.
I'm sure she appreciates that you got her name wrong.
And the map is brought to Robin at the Institute, who reveals they also have a piece of the treasure map, and that it leads to the elemental grimoire.
After which, Robin gave me the words I'd been longing to hear. That I was finally of use to the Birchfield Institute. That I was finally on my way to becoming a proctor. Barely thanks to you. Botching up the intro. What are you doing? You're never doing the intro again, Arthur.
from there, he would have said to come back the next day, and then he's going to give you some information about where you may be able to find the other three paintings. I say other three because I don't know if I just said the Birchfield Institute already has one. They have the Conversation of Revenge that they'd already acquired and had in their stores, knowing that there was something important about it. They just didn't quite know what. So you arrive back the next day. Robin lets you know that the other three paintings are all owned by the same collector, and they are being moved out of the city to a neighboring city. The Conversation of Amnesia, the Conversation of Exodus, and the Conversation of Kingmaker will all be on the Stone Coast Railway tomorrow evening, headed for the neighboring city, which is called... Somebody named the neighboring city.
Gravesend.
All right. Gravesend. I like that. He presents you with 5 tickets, round-trip tickets, to one of the cars in this railroad that's heading over to Gravesend, and says that you're already on the train for tomorrow. Here's your tickets. We would suggest that you have the pieces in your possession by the time you get to Gravesend, which is about a 6-hour trip.
Can we add a rental car and lodging too?
I heard you save when you bundle.
Oh my god. You gotta talk to my buddy Torbitz. He does all that for you.
Is there any indication of what's on these paintings? There might be a circumstance where doing a switch might be viable.
If you can duplicate a masterwork piece by tomorrow night, absolutely, and he'll show you some photos of the original pieces.
So you use the term masterpiece, but I saw the one previously, and well, you're being rather gracious.
All right, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I suppose.
Well, I mean, they do have 11 eyes, I guess,
Did Merrick turn Irish?
Says the character that's had a hoarse throat for the past 4 weeks.
I know.
Speaking of that, Heather, are we gonna start hearing a voice or what?
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Val hasn't spoken yet, so I haven't had to figure one out.
Well, hasn't spoken in 4 weeks. That's been amazing. Just been the frog on your shoulder going, ribbit.
Oh, it wasn't
Love
her
you.
fault. Be nice.
Yeah.
It's Arthur that hasn't spoken in 4 weeks.
Which is a shame, because Arthur is a goddamn hoot.
He's an owl.
Kylie's slowly breaking down in the corner.
Come back to us, Kyle. Come to Big Rock Candy Mountain, Kyle.
You're the no believer.
Sean.
Stone Coast Railway, Kyle.
Come to the Stone Coast Railway. Come on, Kyle.
I'm... Alright, fine.
Yay.
I'm afraid that you're gonna steal my kidney.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Merrick might steal your kidney.
If you can reach it.
Adelaide would also ask Robin. I'm just trying to keep us on the rails, guys.
Womp womp.
Oh, Angela. No, we don't expect those things from you.
You're proud of me, right?
You're supposed to be the good girl.
Which makes them special when they happen.
All right, fine.
She gets to derail us occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, fuck.
Adelaide would also bring up the fact that proctors typically have resources of some kind, so if Robin had anything to offer...
Why don't we see what you can accomplish here? This seems pretty straightforward. Get on the train, get the paintings, get out, come home. I think you can survive that. If and when you do complete that, then we'll talk about your trip to, well, wherever is on this map.
Do you have information about the security?
3 guards, but one is always on duty that rotates out on the train, guarding the goods in the back.
Do they wear throat armor?
I would highly doubt that.
Good.
You're a peach, Arthur.
Adelaide's got this.
Well, I mean, he has a point.
So did she.
It happened one time.
The person that owns these paintings and is traveling with them, or maybe just having them shipped, is a gentleman by the name of Avington. And so you'll be looking for something with the bill with the name Avington on it. Avington. Humphrey Avington. So good luck. And he sent you on your way. So do you guys want to do any shopping, or do you need anything before you guys wait till the next day and then get on this train? A midnight train to Gravesend?
Yeah, Merrick is going to want to go back home and consult with his criminal contacts within his family to obtain proper tools for removing paintings from their frames. Because last time he had to cut one out of the frame, and evidently that was... shouldn't do that.
Had to.
So,
He seemed excited by the prospect.
He was, and then he found out that it devalues the painting, and that kind of broke his heart a little bit. His little heart a little bit.
Except that
So
you don't really
he's
care
going
about the
to-
painting in these situations, but I understand, education purposes.
Well, and he doesn't want to part with any gold that he doesn't have to, and by cutting the painting out of the frame, he parted with quite a bit of it.
So, so that's fine. Unfortunately, just the fact of removing it from the frame is going to devalue it in one way or another, unless you take the proper time to carefully remove it from the frame so it can be put back on perfectly. That would probably take usually an hour per painting to be able to do that, and specialized chemicals and things to release glue and tools for staples and things like that.
I'm mostly focused on the staple tools.
All right, so so they'll give you. I mean, basically, it's just screwdriver, plier, that type of thing. They like to keep it simple. There are specialized tools you could probably get for it for restoration and things, but that's not. No. Again, it's gonna take you a while to learn specifically how to use those. So, they just use basic tools. They teach you kind of how to remove the staples the best way, and so you kind of get that information to be able to remove those and retain more of the value than you were before.
I'll also try to pick up 3 more scroll cases or painting cases in order to transport them safely.
Okay, all right. You can go ahead and grab those. Go ahead and just pop them on your character sheet there, and
Cool.
however much they are.
Adelaide's gonna see if she can acquire some, handcuffs, or, she doesn't really want to just murder dudes if she doesn't have to this time.
Okay, so you want to get some shackles?
Yeah. Adelaide didn't sell anything last time.
We have rope.
That's true. Maybe Adelaide will buy another thing of rope.
Should we get something to hide our faces so we don't get recognized later?
Sure. Get some train robber bandanas. Sure, we'll grab a couple. We'll grab another thing of rope and grab a couple, or 3, 4 more face covering things.
You mean you guys don't have that?
No, I don't generally hide my face when I'm doing jobs for the knights.
Ah, see, when you do job for the night, you've got to.
Right. Anyway.
Adelaide's got an ascot she can makeshift into a face mask.
If we're trying not to get caught later by whoever we're stealing this shit from for the Institute, we should probably not, attack a guard, even to knock him out. If he can see us, that kind of thing.
I can do this. And Bonnie casts a quick spell, and her entire visage changes into a human woman looking slightly older with little poochy cheeks. And she kind of hunches over a little bit.
Oh, shit.
Is this better?
Not bad.
Bonnie, you've really let yourself go.
I can do this for about an hour.
And you just wasted it.
Alright, well, that's one.
Yeah, I don't have any spells that do that. I could use command and make him flee, but then he might jump off the train, so I'm not sure if that would be a good idea.
Good instinct to not do that. I mean, I'm not too worried about blending in with the types of sorts who would be in the train, but sure, not being identified would probably be best.
Yeah, I don't mean we need to cover our faces the whole time. I just think we should probably make sure the guard doesn't see our faces when we go get the paintings.
Bonnie lets it drop. Yeah, that's probably a good plan. Go into the restroom, change faces, and then go get it. Good plan.
Great, so it sounds like we have a plan.
I know you were talking about making copies, Merrick, but can any of us make an illusionary copy so we don't have to try and forge it?
If that's doable.
I can't create illusions like that, or an image that'll stay. Can anybody?
You mean like an image of a painting that doesn't make any noise? Or...
Oh, I can do that for days.
That's a really smart idea, Arthur.
I'm glad you thought of it.
My pleasure.
Well, then I think we know how to disguise the fact that the paintings are gone.
Alright, well that'll help us get the paintings out, because they won't necessarily realize they're gone. maybe one of us should have a really big suitcase or something. Make it easy to disguise that we're carrying him off the train.
Well, I think Merrick is talking about having scroll cases so he can just take them off the frames and put them in. The trick is just making the frames not noticeably affected. Hopefully they're in some sort of shipping crate?
I have a scroll case too that's empty. I can always put one in mine.
Okay, yeah. Breaking them up might be a smart idea.
Just in case one of us gets caught, we'll at least have one or two of the others. And if it was Merrick carrying all of them, then we don't want all the pieces gone at once.
I would say maybe breaking up the scroll cases in the first place would be a good idea.
We could always buy a few more scroll cases since we're getting supplies anyway.
Well, Merrick's getting a few. We'll have another with Bonnie, so that's 4, and we only need 3.
Plus the scroll case that Merrick already has.
And for all of you waiting on pins and needles, I've taken Hellish Rebuke.
Ooh.
Because in fact, I never did take Silent Image in the first place because it wasn't even an option. I may have been looking at an alternate character sheet.
Okay then.
Okay, so Merrick has gone off to shop. We are doing... I'm assuming we're meeting back up at the inn before tomorrow?
Sure.
So, Adelaide, are all of the jobs the proctors do going to involve stealing?
I mean, I can't speak for certain, but I don't imagine so. There's also bounties. And
murder.
Well, working with Robin, that seemed to be things that were done more under the table. The proctors are sanctioned by the Institute. They do a lot of things that help people too. We're still sort of initiates. We're not associated, so maybe they're a little free of liability right now if we get in trouble doing stuff. Not that I intend to get in trouble.
I just want to make sure we're not going to be constantly doing something that's quite so against the law. Wayuna's not a lawful goddess, but still don't really want to end up on her bad side.
We're not stealing. We're borrowing it indefinitely.
Oh, we're stealing.
Commandeering, maybe.
We're redistributing.
Think of it this way, Val. If we get accepted to the proctors, we won't be doing things against the law. We'll be the law to some degree. And I know that might make you a little itchy, Merrick.
Breaking the law. Me? No, they have creams for that. Unguents and ointments and the like.
Val just kind of shakes her head at Merrick for a second and looks back at Adelaide.
I've just started blocking it out.
Yeah, it's less the law part and more just the stealing, at a certain point it becomes a make or break issue. I don't really want to end up in one of the plains. I'd rather go to one of the fields after I die.
Okay, well, what if one of your party members is the one who's actually doing the deed, and you're not aware of it when it happens?
By the fact that we're having this conversation, I'm aware it's going to happen.
You're aware that it might happen, not that it actually did.
I'm not the smartest person at this table, but I'm also not the dumbest. Well, actually, I might be, but I'm not completely stupid.
I take it that we'll be giving quarter to people if possible. Yes? Incapacitating rather than killing?
I was going to purchase some... Yeah, I bought rope. I was thinking if we had to, we could tie them up and... Yes, incapacitate. I'd rather not leave a trail of bodies on a train, especially if we have to take the train back.
Agreed. And I am excellent at tying knots.
Fine. I won't kill anybody outright.
That's good.
But I can't promise I won't hamstring them.
Ooh.
We can't have them running after me. I'm not fast.
You're a vicious little man, Merrick.
So you guys finish up, have a good relaxing day or evening. Sleep. Next day, you finish up your shopping, get all your stuff together, and head to the Binsworth North Station. This is evening, kind of the red-eye style overnight. There's not a lot of people on this train. You can see maybe there's a dozen people total for 5 passenger cars and what looks like 2 or 3 cargo cars. 12 cars altogether in the including the engine for the train.
Would it seem suspicious if we were to ask to ride in the cargo car?
I would imagine it would be, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Okay, just checking.
But having something that goes into the cargo car would be a good reason to get back there.
What if we have a container with some sort of a dangerous creature?
And then we put you in it?
You're speaking about yourself?
Yes.
Well, we have 5. Well, I mean, I guess we don't need all 5 tickets.
Maybe hold on to it in case he needs an alibi for being off the train. You just tell them he's in the bathroom every time they come to look for tickets.
I get motion sickness.
Or that he changed his mind against even traveling.
I don't think they'll blink an eye if someone's just not there.
Right.
Sure, on our way over, we'll procure some sort of crate. Unless we want to get one from Robin's produce thing.
Could be the same one that we used for Gregor's. A little bit of blood inside, but...
You have no problems getting a crate, yeah.
I have to assume customs will look in it, so we probably want to stuff it with some stuff. Unless you want to be a very convincing animal, Lotus.
I can do my best.
Couldn't Arthur use his image ability?
Would that mask him enough?
I don't think I can polymorph him. I can just create additional images.
Well, we could make him look like a sleeping animal, and then he wouldn't have to move too much, and Merrick could just make snoring noises. I don't know.
Easily done.
Or we could just put blankets around him and say we're transporting fragile goods and therefore they don't look under the blanket.
See, I don't think we'll get away with that as easy. I do like the idea of at least making him look like something. That when they look to inspect, they'll see the thing we claim is there.
Yeah, that's fine. I can make some sort of image appear on top of him.
Can you just make him look like a pile of junk?
Yeah.
Logan, quick question. Val's done a lot of traveling with the knights, going from place to place, and probably station house, or whatever they call them, to station house. So would she know, do they even bother checking all the crates that go on these trains if you're going from just one city to the next?
Not usually. The only issue is that you'll probably have to pay to have it transported. That was not included in your tickets.
Okay.
Could we scalp the ticket?
It might be easier for him to come back to the city as an actual person, perhaps.
Sure.
I look around for somebody holding up a sign that says, "I need a miracle."
I think that's going to be a pretty high DC there.
Yeah, nobody with that particular sign. What exactly are you hoping for?
Somebody trying to, get on the train so we can scalp our ticket. Get to the Grateful Dead concert that's in the next town.
Oh.
Holding out for a hero is playing in the background.
Gravesend or bust.
Arthur, Bonnie did make a good point, though, that Merrick will probably want the round-trip ticket to get back.
To be honest, you guys, when I've traveled with the knights, I mean, they kind of just give us a cursory look over because we're the knights anyway, but I haven't actually ever seen them going through every single box when you're just going between 2 cities that are right next to each other. It's usually only if you're going into the next country that they start caring about it.
Well, then, I wonder how much it'll cost to even ship it.
Yeah, that I don't know. I've never taken anything with me that had to go in a box big enough to hold Merrick.
Doesn't have to be a big box.
Probably a couple gold. I don't think it'll be too bad.
Arthur's going to approach the counter.
All right.
Excuse me. We're going to be taking an additional crate with us on our journey. How much would that be to put it in storage?
Let me get the numbers real quick. And she grabs a book up. So it's a copper per mile. How big is the crate?
It's 5 by 5, just like this situation.
Okay.
Said that in character.
God damn
Oh my god.
Um,
man.
all right, so for that size, it's a copper per mile. It's a 300-mile trip. So that would be 3 gold for one way.
Okay. Why, thank you. I'll hand over 3 gold. Well, where should I bring it?
So you'll bring it over to the storage cart over there. Are you on this train? Do you have it with you?
Yes.
Okay. Then you just need to affix this to it. And she hands you a notice. They can use some actually attach it to it at the gate.
Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay.
Logan, Val would have stuffed a couple of pillows into the box with Merrick. I've seen the way they throw the boxes around when they're loading the train, and I don't want to have to heal you when we open the crate. And she shoves another pillow in.
Much obliged, thank you.
And right before they close up, Bonnie will stick her head in and whisper some quick words of inspiration to Merrick to aid him in any of his needed stealth checks, perhaps. Good luck.
Thank you.
And some sweet nothings.
Nothing.
I'm assuming we're not securing this very tightly.
I've got a crowbar. I can break out anything.
Okay.
When we turn it in, I think it'd be good to know if we can go back and check on cargo during the trip.
Didn't ask. We're gonna do that anyway, though.
So you guys use probably the cart that you stole from Gregor to bring this crate over.
Yep.
Waste not, want not.
And this young, maybe 15-year-old, pretty well muscular looking boy comes up and says, "Oh, can I take that? I'll get it in for you."
Thank you. If we need to go back there to check on anything while the train's actually in transit, are we allowed to get back into the cargo hold?
You should be able to. You just need to talk with one of the people in charge, either the conductor or one of the guards, the watch, and then they should be able to take you back to the cargo hold. No problem. He kind of jumps back from the from it. What do you got in there?
Fluffy doesn't really like traveling. He'll be fine.
Oh, he kind of looks over the paperwork and says, "This doesn't mention live animal. Did you need to put air holes in this crate?"
Yeah, there's a few. Just look around the other side there. There's a few.
You know what? I'm okay. That's all right. I just need you to know that we can't be responsible. I'll be very careful with it. But, you know, he signs off on it, hands you your back, and he takes the other one and kind of staples it down to it and starts wheeling it gingerly up the ramp.
Before he goes, Bonnie leans in and kind of bats her eyes and, "Oh, thank you so much for taking such good care of him. I really appreciate it."
Of course. Yeah, we'll take good care of your little...
It's okay, Fluffy. It's okay, boy.
Is he choking on something?
No.
That's just the noise he makes. He's fine.
All right. Is he injured in some way?
No.
Just very, very ugly.
We just put a muzzle on him so he can't open his mouth all the way. That's why it sounds like that. Just don't open the box and don't take the muzzle off.
The box will not be opened, I promise.
It's a pheromone thing.
It's a ferret? This is a big box for a
Pheromone.
ferret.
Dire ferret.
Ooh. Oh. All right. A dire ferret.
It's mating season.
Would it help if I... would it help if I like talk to it? You said its name is Fluffy?
Yup. With every word that comes out of everybody's mouth, Adelaide's just like, why am I with these people? We need to coordinate everything.
Okay, so Fluffy, she's taking notes. So it's Fluffy, the dire weasel who's in heat, and likes to be spoken to.
Occasionally.
Occasionally, but not too often. Does that make him irate? I'm gonna go find a nice
Her.
If
it's in heat.
Okay, but
I'm just trying to coordinate with the story Arthur keeps making deeper.
That's fine. I'm just gonna go put Fluffy away now.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hello, darling fellow Goonies. It is I, not Logan. Our fearless leader and dungeon master is currently busy loading a dire ferret onto the train. I am Angela, I play Adelaide, and I'm here to offer some suggestions of ways to help support us Shenanigoons and maybe get something in the mail a little more pleasant than a fake feral animal or a cutthroat halfling cut purse in a box. We are proud members of nerdsmith.org, a nerdy entertainment network devoted to bringing our listeners the best entertainment we can. Our content is fan-supported and free to everyone. We'd like to send a special shout-out to our fabulous Nerdsmith subscribers. You keep us running on the internet, and we can't thank you enough for your generosity. If you like what you're hearing so far, please consider giving us a review on iTunes to help more people find our show, and tell your friends about Shenanigoons. Or you can head over to nerdsmith.org and make a donation. You can ensure that we continue the story of these absolutely competent band of adventurers as they coordinate their hijinks with military precision. Another way you can support the Nerdsmith Network is to check out Blue Apron. Blue Apron is a home meal delivery service that lets you choose from a variety of recipes every week, and they will send the fresh ingredients directly to your door. Super tasty recipes that you can make from scratch, even if you're all thumbs in the kitchen. You can use our link at nerdsmith.org/blueapron for $30 off your first order. Before we jump into our story again, I want to tell you about Nerd Alerts. You can send a message out to friends or loved ones, and you can have Logan or any of us Shenanigoon players or characters read your message during the show. You can find more information on our website at nerdsmith.org/nerdalert. Finally, Logan graciously welcomed us into his head and the world of Vale, and we've been helping him populate his world with our own ideas as we play. But there's always room to grow. We want your brains now. That sounded... Anyway, if you'd like to contribute to the world of Vale, we want to hear about your ideas for a person, place, or thing. That's a concept or a name for an NPC, including your own, a location somewhere in the world of Vale or our hometown Ashport, or an item in the Birchfield lost and found for the party to use or misuse. You can send us your ideas using the hashtag Shenanigoons or tweeting directly to @theshenanigoons. We can't wait to keep building the world of Vale with your help. Anyway, let's get back to the action. I'm certain that absolutely nothing else will go wrong.
Are there any gaps in the crate, like in the planking of the crate, that I can like look out of, or
Probably a slit or two. You don't get really good looks, but you guys didn't specifically poke holes or anything either, so...
I don't think we want them now that apparently there's an animal that could be verified inside the box. What happened to make it look like a pile of junk? Merrick made noises.
Yeah, I just thought it was going to be a pile of stuff, and then the noises started, I was like, oh, fuck!
Adelaide was just like,
second level adventures.
Hey guys, it's fine.
level 2?
Level 2. Alright, so you then go and get onto your very nice little train car.
Adelaide's not wearing her leather armor right now. She's actually in her normal civvies, which are actually really nice. She's got like a nice sort of suit, like a lady suit, like a 3-piece. Her armor's in her backpack, though.
Bonnie is wearing the ever-loving crap out of that coat. She's like, no,
She is.
not taking it off.
Yeah, Val's definitely wearing her armor, but she probably has a really big cloak over most of it.
So inside, the car has these this beautiful tall ceiling with kind of these arched sides where luggage and things can go kind of up above you. There's these like nice little chandeliers every so often along the cart. These huge wide windows with kind of stained glass, green and arched tops, and little kind of circular ornaments in each side of the windows. It's all this nice kind of cherry wood. Along the floor is this kind of greenish teal flower patterned floor with like little carnation flowers on them. And then there's these red couches for the first half of the cart on either side. They're kind of facing in up against the walls. And then the back half of the cart has 4-person tables all along the left side and 2-person tables all along the right, making a little walkway in between there. And on the tables, every other table, there's a bouquet of the same carnation, these white carnation flowers. And the 2 of the carts are very much like this. One of the carts, as you kind of walk through, is more of similar, but it looks more like a dining cart. There's a little bar there. And then the last cart is a sleeper cart, which you can get into, but you don't have rooms inside the sleeper car. So at the back, beyond the dining car, sitting right there by the door to the next cart back is a watchman, one of the city watchmen, who looks like they've been riding along with the car. And he's sitting there, just kind of bored, but his chair is like right next to the door. He's got a little table there, and he's got a book, and he's just kind of reading and sitting there. Throughout, there's about a dozen other people spread out. About half of them go into the sleeper car. So there's only about 6 or 7 people in the train overall, sitting and talking. A couple of them are talking, obviously, together, and then there's the rest are all like singles, just kind of scattered.
She'll lean over to Bonnie and just sort of, I guess as they're coming on board, and just sort of whisper, together or separate?
Together, I would think.
All right.
Might make it a little easier.
So she'll look for a table in the dining car, I guess, just because that's close to the bag.
Okay.
Nobody tell Merrick that we actually put him in the crate in the back because there was no room for him at this 4-person table.
Secrets. Sure, we're all sworn to secrecy.
You got it.
After a few minutes, the train pulls away from the station. You get a little kind of a jerk as it kind of pulls away, and the bartender comes from the sleeper car and pops into the bar there and asks if there's anything you'd like to drink, or he can make you a snack, some sandwiches, or something.
Arthur perks up at the word sandwich. I would love a sandwich.
Sure. We've got like a tuna fish, or we've got like a little like cucumber, a little light cucumber with tea, or we have kind of this like hazelnut butter.
Let's go with the tuna fish.
All right.
I'd like the hazelnut butter, please, and a cup of tea.
All right. And they'll have several varieties of tea to choose from.
You wouldn't have any sort of like charcuterie platter or anything?
Sure. Mm-hmm. So he'll bring out like a tray of like these different cured meats, a few cheeses, some crackers, a little toasted bread bits, and the tea. He brings out kind of a generic, kind of just everyday tea for everyone to have if they want. Brings out the sandwiches and says, let me know if there's anything else. And he just goes back and tends bar.
Bonnie will wrap half of her sandwich up in her handkerchief to give to Merrick, so he doesn't have to sit back there with nothing to eat at all.
Meanwhile, in the crate, as he's going through an apple.
I could really go for a sandwich right now.
just got this great image of like him chewing the apple, and then he hears a guard coming. He's like,
Oh man.
So after a short time, maybe half an hour, not even, probably 15 minutes of getting you your food, the bartender says, "Excuse me, I'll be back," and he heads out and takes a little notepad, starts heading out, walking through the train.
Meanwhile, while this is happening, Merrick will be using his thieves' tools to attempt to get out of the crate. I don't know how heavily sealed it was.
Yeah, I don't think you guys sealed it at all, really, unless you brought hammers and stuff. But yeah, so it's probably not sealed at all. However, due to the scary nature of the dire weasel, they did stack several crates on top of it.
I figured as much. So Merrick is going to use his thieves' tools to attempt to break out.
Okay, so you're going to use your thieves' tools to start trying to remove panels on the sides?
On the end that's facing towards where they wheeled me in. So they wheeled me in on a cart.
You're
right?
in a corner now.
Okay, yeah. So a panel facing away if there's room, like on the other side.
Give me a strength save with proficiency because of your crowbar, your thieves' tools. I forgot, thieves' tools also breaking and entering. I always think it's kind of dexterity, lockpicking, but it can be, yeah, absolutely breaking and entering as well. So go ahead and give me that check.
And you did have inspiration. Because Bonnie was sure to...
How long does that last?
Oh, it only lasts 10 minutes, so no, never mind. Sorry. I would have wasted it. Sorry.
Because
you would have done that. You could have
Yeah.
done that within the 10 minutes of the train. That's fine.
Is it a D6?
It is a D6, yes.
Strength check. Okay. I needed that. With proficiency, so proficiency is +2. That was an 8 on the die. Is a 10 +5 from Bardic Inspiration, so 15.
All right, so you did a really good job. You get probably a huge, maybe a 3-4 inch gap on that panel as it kind of pulls out, and you think you'd have no problems kind of kicking it down. However, it made a really loud sound as the nails just scraped out. What is everyone's passive perception inside the dining car?
12.
12.
9.
Okay, nobody hears anything, including the guard. So it did make that sound, but you seem to be okay.
All right, time to get to work.
As you kind of stop and listen around there, you do hear the sounds of footsteps around, but not like panicked, not coming towards you or anything, but the footsteps do seem to be coming through this area, but then they open a door and disappear, and you hear the door close. The rest of you see the porter that helped you come out and head from this room into the dining car with you, and he goes and sits up at the bar.
Adelaide will lean forward to the table and speak as quietly as she can. So, I at least got the implication that we would be escorted to the cargo hold, so I imagine we would want to incapacitate said guard.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. We should do that, when the door closes and we're a little bit out of sight, though.
Sure. Just wanting to make sure we're all on the same page this time. Improvisation taken into account and all.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
To be honest, you're not the one I need to have a talk with. You were yes-anding the shit out of that.
Fluffy was louder than I was expecting.
We made it work.
It was one of our plans, so, to be honest, he was following through with one of them.
Sure.
He got bored. So, Merrick, as you are kind of starting to prowl around, do you leave the crate open, or do you try to push it back up so it's unnoticeable? What are you doing?
I am propping the crate, like the piece that I broke out of the crate. I'm propping it back up.
Okay.
So it
It's
looks
still
like
going to have a gap, but it's not. It'll need, casual observer, not a big deal. Walking by, they may not even notice, but somebody looks at it, it's going to be very obvious it was opened. Just because you don't have, unless you want to hammer it back together.
No. Does it conceivably look like the weight of the crates on top of that crate could have damaged it somehow? That's kind of the look I'm going for.
No, the frame is still fairly sturdy. You might be able to make it look like that.
As long as I could do so stealthily and quickly. That's what I'm going for.
You could do so either stealthily or quickly.
Stealthily.
All right. So you'll take a couple of minutes to go ahead and damage the frame of this crate a little bit to make it look like it popped open. Give me a sleight of hand check.
That is a 17.
Okay. So yeah, you do a fairly good job. You think most people looking at this would be like, yes, absolutely. The weight of this damaged it, it popped open, and whatever was inside escaped.
Cool. And I will begin stealthily prowling around looking for paintings or painting crates or something.
Go ahead and, yeah, absolutely. That's a great idea. So give me an investigation roll.
Oh, 19 on the dice. That's a 20.
Nice.
All right. So as you're investigating this car, you do find some storage, some crates with the name Avington marked on them. You find 3 crates, and they say, like 3 of 7, 4 of 7, 5 of 7. But unfortunately, no other ones exist here in this car, and these are too small to hold paintings the size of what you saw or what you have.
Okay, I'm going to try to roll out to the next car, keeping to the shadows.
Okay, we're going to cut back over to the dining cart.
Is this a situation where we should probably make our way back, or are we waiting for some signal? It occurs to me we didn't really coordinate this very well.
I would think that we'd wait a little bit into the journey. I wouldn't assume that if we were to immediately sit down, that we'd want to go check on our stuff immediately.
Yeah, and that'll give him time to try to find things.
All right.
So how long are you guys waiting?
We would know, I'm assuming. How long is the trip between
6 hours.
Ashport and 6 hours? Okay. So, maybe do we want to wait till we're about halfway there or an hour or 2 in?
Probably an hour.
I would say an hour in, maybe.
I do have a concern of doing this a little too early, because somebody goes back there or checks on it. And I don't know.
We should at least try to locate
Sure.
early-ish, if not execute.
Well, we set it up that Merrick's a pet, so if we go back there and check on him
We're feeding it, right?
once to find out to check on him, and then later we make sure he's still okay before we get off the train. Given that it's a live animal, that doesn't look that suspicious, I don't think. I mean, we check on our horses several times when we're traveling with the knights. They don't usually care.
Seems reasonable enough.
I will follow your lead.
Whose lead are you talking about?
Yours?
We're like, right, okay. What?
Yeah, I just imagine Val and Adelaide both looking at each other like, wait, which of us is she talking to?
Either or, both. Doesn't really matter. ¿Por qué no los dos?
What's that, Elvish?
No, Dwarvish.
The charcuterie was the Elvish.
Yes, yeah.
Tapas or whatever.
Now, if you say tapas, it's dwarvish again.
It's there's borrowed words between. I mean, shut up. Merrick's not here. He's in a box.
That's why I wasn't using Merrick's voice.
You weren't?
You were using his sass, though.
Yeah, there you go.
Merrick's sass is my sass.
All right, so yeah, we'll wait an hour or so. Logan, does Humphrey Avington mean anything to me? Do I know anything about that guy?
It's another one of the nobles from the town. Nobody that you know of directly. Well, actually, you might know a little bit about his family. Not a lot, though.
Okay.
He's a private man, keeps to himself pretty much. But he's a philanthropist, so he puts a lot of his art out there on loan to different museums and things to show it off and try to share it.
Gotcha.
So do you think it's time to head back?
Yeah, maybe we should go check.
Test the waters. Bonnie, people like you, maybe you could talk to the guard. We all want to go back, right?
Talk to him about the book he's reading.
Oh, okay. You want me to distract, or do you want me to ask for permission?
I think asking for permission's the end goal. I assume we all want to get back there, though.
Okay.
maybe Fluffy needs, I don't know, all of us to be
It's a group feeding.
Well, let's see how easy it is for one of us to get back, and then let's give it a try. So Bonnie will go over and patiently wait for the guard to look up from his book.
Can I help you?
Yes, excuse me. I'm sorry to interrupt. I was wondering if it would be possible for me or some of my party to go and check on the items that we have in storage.
I suppose, yes, that's fine. Do you all need to go back?
We'd like to. We have a pet that we're taking with us, and he can get a little grumpy, and sometimes it takes more than one of us to keep him calm. If that's okay.
Okay, that would be fine. Are you all ready right now?
Yes.
Yeah, if that's all right.
Oh, all right. So he closes his book, copies of The Puppies of Mystery, and puts it down, and puts down like his little pencil that he was taking some notes with, and stands up and pulls out some keys and unlocks the cargo door. The door actually at the back of this, which would take you outside into the... Are you okay, Angela?
You can't just say Puppies of Mystery and then just breeze right by it. You can't do that. Like, God damn it, Logan.
He takes the keys, he unlocks this door out to the outside, walks across the little walkway there, unlocks the door into the next room. So, Marek, as you are starting to check this door to the back, to the next car, you hear from way on the other side of this car, the door being unlocked. The door that you're in front of is also locked, and you were probably just getting ready with your thieves' tools to start unlocking it. And you start to hear that, and it is a direct line of sight shot from that door to this one.
I'm going to scarper up some of the crates, or is there scaffolding?
Yeah, there's crates,
or
and there's all sorts of racks and things in here.
Okay, I'm gonna climb on top, and then try to make my way back over to the box that I came out
of. It's a long way away. You're probably not going to make
Never
it.
mind.
But
knowing that, I would not do that. I would just get on top and lay flat and just be as quiet as possible.
Adelaide would try to get into the room pretty quickly, and when she gets in, she'll just start being like, "Fluffy dear, we're coming. We know things are stressful."
All right, so he unlocks that door, and you kind of walk past him and say, "Oh, sorry." And he goes in, takes his keys, and he just kind of lets you start going. He follows you as you start walking around. By the way, boxcars are about 50 feet from end to end. So, like I said, crawling along the tops would take you a while. So you're up there, you flatten down. Go ahead and give me a hide check. And then the rest of you're walking by. It takes you a minute to find the crate kind of in one of those alcoves in kind of a corner. It's got stuff stacked on top of it, and instantly you recognize as you walk up to it that it's been damaged, and it's open. But it's been kind of propped back up, so it's not open a lot.
Maybe we should wait. It seems like he's sleeping right now. We should feed him later.
Adelaide's gonna try to block the view of that space on the box.
Okay, since you guys haven't really gone up to it, and there's not a lot of small things in this area, the guard seems a little distracted. He's just kind of making sure you don't steal anything, or tamper with anything. So he's not really paying attention to... He's on the other side of this wall of this alcove as you guys are doing your thing. So he doesn't seem to really notice.
Bonnie actually stays with the guard and starts asking him, what's your book about? It seems kind of interesting.
Oh, it's about puppies, and it's a mystery.
Really? How do the puppies solve the mystery, or were they stolen?
I haven't gotten that far. I've only met one of the puppies.
Oh, that's adorable. What's its name?
During this, Logan.
Gerald.
I was giving you an out. Adelaide's gonna see if she can casually keep walking down the car like she's looking for another package of hers.
Give me a deception check.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Merrick got a 25 on his stealth check, because that's what I'm best at.
Nice.
Merrick fucking gone.
That is an 18 total.
Okay, yeah, so he kind of looks up, but as long as you stay in his vision, he doesn't seem to distract you or stop you. So you get down to the other end even, and he doesn't really do or say anything, just keeps talking with Bonnie there. But you don't see Merrick anywhere.
Door looks untampered with, and...
Do you try it? It could be unlocked, you don't know.
Can I try to stealthily check the door?
Give me a stealth check.
That's what I was angling for. I'm actually decent at stealth. That is a 16.
Okay. That beats his passive perception. He's obviously distracted. So yes, absolutely, you check it. It is locked. So unless Merrick locked it behind him, he's still here somewhere.
Son of a bitch.
Right as she turns around and starts walking back, my mother is a classy lady.
There's no fright check in 5e, so we'll just say she's fine with that.
Well, we can if you want.
No, thank you.
So
she'll start heading back to the group and maybe just say casually to the room, you know what, Arthur, I think you're right. I think we should maybe just leave him alone to rest until he's a bit more, active feeling himself, and then maybe we'll come back and try feeding him again.
Yeah, definitely a good plan. Maybe 20, 25 minutes.
Oh yeah, maybe we should check back in 20 to 25 minutes.
That's exactly.
So yeah, you guys go ahead and leave. The guard goes with you. Locks the doors behind you as you guys sit back down at the dining cart. Yes.
Yeah. Adelaide will also thank the guy for letting them check on him, and that they'll let him know if they want to go back again.
Sure. You said 20 minutes or so. That's fine. I'm just gonna keep reading my book. Thanks.
What was your name?
My name is Fuck You.
That's an interesting name. Is that Elvish?
I don't know. What is his name?
Gerald.
Same as the puppy.
Just like the puppy.
That's why he wanted the book.
It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Q.
Mr. Q? Fuck you. Oh, God. That took me way longer than I expected. Yeah, Jerry. His name's Jerry.
Perfect.
Thank you for your time.
Jerry Q.
Jerry Q. So you, Merrick, you pop down out of your hiding spot, run over to the door, and continue your work. Give me a sleight of hand check.
That's a 10.
Well, luckily these are not really, really nice locks. You do unlock it with a 10, and it just kind of pops right open. You do have to walk along this little walkway, this narrow walkway, and do the next one while you're outside traveling between the trains and the ground is running along underneath you at 50 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and do one more at disadvantage this time.
Not terrible. 14.
This door, unfortunately, seems a little bit more sturdy. Like this whole cart seems to be better well made. So, unfortunately, that doesn't quite do it. You think you were close. You got like 3 of the pins to kind of get into position, but the last one was just kind of dodging you. So go ahead and you can give me another roll if you want.
Yep.
Again with disadvantage.
16 that time.
Okay, 16 does it. So you get it the second time around. About a minute later, you just pop it open, and you are into the next cart. The thing you notice about the next cart is it's got kind of a smell to it, kind of like like there may be like animals or livestock here, or something like that.
How many of these carts are there?
2.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna continue looking for Humphrey person's boxes.
Avington.
Yep. As you're kind of walking around in here, though, the first thing you notice is that right as you walk inside to the right, there's kind of this big curtain that's built onto this large box or something. Whatever it is to your right, it's would take probably 4 guys to bring it in here. But there's this big curtain that kind of goes on 2 sides of this box that's in the corner, and you can see that there's like ropes strapping it to the wall.
Okay, I fought off my curiosity. All right.
So you continue to look around. You do find 2 boxes right away with the Avington name on them. And then as you continue to look, you find 2 others that are too small to be what you're looking for. So you find 2 large crates that would be able to fit those painting sizes.
Okay. Thieves' tools again?
Okay. Since you're not as worried about noise being now 2 carts away from everyone on a noisy train, you just go ahead and you get them open. As you start to kind of dig through them, you find several paintings, but no manifests. So while you got lots of paintings, you're not sure which ones are which. Unless you want to make an intelligence check and try to remember what they look like from the picture you saw before.
Or just take them all.
That's an at 20.
Oh, that could have gone either direction. I was not sure what that face meant.
Yeah, no, that's his I rolled a nat 1 or I rolled a nat 20 face. Okay, so yeah, you're like, oh, it's this one, and this one. It has that ugly little dog in it, and then this one has that stupid little kid, and then this one has that ugly lawn. So you're like, these are the 3 right there, boom. So you start to do the work to remove the staples, and
oh, they're in frames. Okay.
yeah, they're mounted. Yeah, that's why you had to get to the size. So you start to put those together.
I will have shut the doors behind me.
Did you lock them though?
I didn't specify that I locked them.
Okay. So it's been about 20 minutes.
Logan, there are napkins, I presume?
Sure. Yeah, little cloth napkins.
While we were waiting, I would have procured 1 or 2 of them and kind of broken them down into smaller pieces.
Sure, easy. The bartender comes back in and has been dealing with the porter. But the porter's finished his meal, and the porter is now heading back, pats the guard on the shoulder, unlocks the door, and starts heading back into the back. The guard kind of looks up from his book and says, "Are you ready?"
How are we feeling?
Yeah, I think we're ready now.
Yes, I think we want to go check on him.
He gets up and says, "Oh, good timing." So he just follows the porter back, who he calls Kian, and the 6 of you go into the back.
Yeah, on my way through, Logan, I'm going to be placing the little torn up pieces of cloth into the hole where the lock goes and block it.
Got it. Yep. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check to do that.
19.
Okay, so yeah, you stuff the cloths into those to the little latch holes there to make sure the doors don't actually latch. Perfect.
Did the guard come with us, or is it
the guard is there as well?
The
yes.
port. So there's 2 people back there now.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And the porter is heading straight back for the second cart.
Bonnie, maybe you should talk to the porter again.
Hey, Bonnie, go back there with him.
Okay. So she'll kind of sidle up to the porter. I don't mean to intrude. I was wondering if I could ask you a favor.
Well, sure. What can I do for you?
This is gonna seem kind of silly. This is the first time I've ever been on a train before, and I was wondering if you could show me around a little bit, if that would be okay. And she's trying to flirt with all of her might.
All of her flirting might.
So he's like, well, I'm absolutely. I got to tend to my duties first, but then I'd be glad to take you on a tour.
I don't mind keeping you company.
I was going to suggest that. I mean, if you want to see something really neat,
I'd love to.
Mr. Avington has amazing exotic animals that come with us a lot of times, and this one's a doozy.
Oh, I'd love to see.
All right. So he goes up and puts the key in, unlocks the door. Doesn't seem to notice that it was already unlocked. Pops the door open, and then heads out into the next door. Checks that door, and goes, "Huh? I thought I locked that. I must not have. No big deal. Not like anybody'd go back here, especially with, well, this thing back here.
Is it dangerous?
I would say, yeah, it's probably a little dangerous.
She'll kind of take his arm and kind of get a little closer.
Oh, careful. Let's get inside. So he opens the door. Obviously, Merrick, you hear this door open. You're just finishing up your work, but you still got your tools out. You still got the frames out. You haven't been able to put them all away. What do? You are out of sight of that door, though, as of right now.
I am going to, as quickly as possible, roll up the leather satchel that the thieves' tools are in.
Okay.
I imagine it's much like a knife bag or like a lockpick.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just roll it up real hastily, just bind it, throw it in the bag, and then try to find a place to hide.
There's lots of places to hide. That's not a problem. Rolling it up that quickly will make a little noise, though. So if you want to try to do it stealthily, give me a stealth check at disadvantage.
Okay.
Jump into a haystack, Assassin's Creed style.
That's a 16 on the die for the first one, and good. A 4 on the die for the next one, which is a total of 11.
Okay. So as you guys go back there, you hear kind of this. You have a 12, right, Bonnie? Yeah. So you hear this kind of chinking of tools towards the back of the cart, and he does too. He goes, "What was that?"
I don't know.
I should. Well, no, I'll do my duties. So he slides over and goes up to this large curtained off area, and he's just listening at it. And as you listen at it with him, you can kind of hear like heavy breathing.
What is it?
You ready? You want to see?
Yeah.
Okay, so he walks over the edge of the curtain. He starts to pull back the curtain slowly, and inside, behind this curtain, is a large cage. The bars are probably 3 to 4 inches apart. So he says, "You got to be careful. Stay back." And he pulls this up back, and this large cage houses a very large, beautiful orange and black tiger.
Hello, friends! Welcome to the Birchfield Institute Archives. Sit with me among these ancient tomes as we explore, like sands through the hourglass, the days of
Faustus, what are you doing back?
Aw, hey,
Oh my
Ren.
gods! What is all this smoke?
It's just incense for the ritual. How else am I gonna reach through the plains to tell these fine folk about all the cool adventures that our friends
You cannot hotbox in the special collections wing. You will ruin the books.
I can fix anything that gets broken now.
That is not
I
the
don't
point.
understand why this is such a big
Threads
deal.
in the Veil, an audio drama series coming soon to nerdsmith.org.
Okay,
You
this
ever
is not
tried
okay.
yoga?